Why is there no German Grand Prix? Germany has been a powerhouse since Formula One's inception in 1950. The German Grand Prix has been a staple on the Formula One calendar, hosting some of the most memorable races of the past decade, including the madness that was 2019. The country has also produced some of the most talented drivers the sport has ever seen, including Michael Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel, and of course the driver that beat 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton in the same machinery, it's Nico Rosberg. Germany is also the home of the Mercedes-AMG Formula One team, and with rumours of German motorsport giants Porsche and Audi both keen to buy their way into the sport in upcoming years, this leads us to the question, why is there no German Grand Prix on the current calendar? There are only 2 circuits in Germany that meet the Grade 1 criteria that is required to host Formula One races. These tracks are the Nürburgring and Hockenheim. So what makes a circuit Grade 1? There's not an actual set of criteria a track has to meet to be classified as Grade 1, but it generally refers to things like the circuit length, safety measures in place, and accessibility. Nowadays it's mostly about the facilities. Grade 1 circuits need to have large media areas, enough space for Formula 1 teams and the support races like Formula 2 and F3, a medical centre, the correct paddock size, spectator grandstands, and the facilities for TV coverage. While Grade 2 circuits like Brands Hatch in the UK have hosted F1 races in the past, they just simply aren't up to the scale and the demands of today's Formula 1. For over 3 decades, the Hockenheim Ring was the venue of the German Grand Prix, except for in 1985. However, from 1995 to 2007, a separate F1 race was held in Germany at the Nürburgring. This race was called the European Grand Prix. This deal, having both tracks on the calendar, seemed to suit both parties pretty well, but with Hockenheim securing the title of the German Grand Prix first, this meant that the Nürburgring had to settle for the name of the European Grand Prix. I'm sure they weren't overly keen on this title, and it is a bit of a weird name when there are so many other races on this continent. The European Grand Prix name was then passed to the Valencia Street Circuit in 2008, all the way up to 2012, and then on to Baku before it was renamed the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in 2017. In 2007, it was announced that the Hockenheim Ring and the Nürburgring would alternate hosting the German Grand Prix under that name, but in 2015, the Nürburgring pulled out of hosting the event, which left Hockenheim as the sole host of the race all the way up to 2018. Now, a 1-year deal was made to place the German Grand Prix on the 2019 calendar, but unfortunately this wasn't enough to keep the race going up to the current calendar. As of 2023, we haven't seen a race under the name of the German Grand Prix since. However, Germany has hosted a race since. In 2020, there was a race called the Eifel Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. Now, confusingly, the Eifel Grand Prix's name is a reference to the nearby mountain range, not the tower in Paris. This was added at short notice in the chaos that was COVID-19. Formula One just needed countries that would allow the F1 paddock into their country. Now, Stefano Domenicali, the CEO of Formula One, has put the blame on the representatives from Germany. He said, "If anyone wants a German Grand Prix, it's me. I don't see any representatives in Germany who want to sit down with us and make a constructive suggestion." Now, I think this is a bit misleading in my opinion, because he's blaming the representatives from Germany, but we know what Formula One wants to have the conversation about.
First of all, congratulations, Mr. Krabs.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
If you look at the most recent additions to the Formula One calendar, the likes of Qatar, Miami, Las Vegas, Baku, Saudi Arabia, these aren't countries or states in America with the rich history in Formula One, but they sure do have a lot of money. It's clear that if you're willing to pay the price, you're likely going to get a race. This also relates to the news of Spa's potential exit from the Formula One calendar. If you ask the majority of F1 fans, they would probably put Spa in their top 5 tracks when choosing their ideal calendar. but the lack of money the circuit brings to Formula 1 compared to the other tracks such as Las Vegas, Miami, and even Monaco is the main reason for its rumoured departure. The contract with Spa was supposed to end last year, but Formula 1 agreed a 1-year contract extension. Now I think this is a strange decision, and it just shows the lack of commitment between Formula 1 and the Belgian race. The reaction of F1 fans and drivers was mostly anger and confusion, but if Spa brings in only 10% of the income that the Las Vegas Grand Prix will in 2023, what do you think the stakeholders of Formula 1 are likely to choose when they're putting together the 2024 calendar and they are fighting over tracks? Using F1Destinations.com's 3-day average ticket price, which averages 3 different ticket prices including a general admission ticket, a cheap grandstand ticket, and the grandstand opposite the pit lane, a weekend at Spa will cost you £316. The same weekend in Las Vegas will instead cost you £1,341 in ticket price alone. Now if we multiply both of these by the capacity of each circuit, Spa being 70,000 and Las Vegas is going to be 100,000, this will provide a ticket revenue of 22,120,000 for Spa and 134,100,000 for Las Vegas, 6 times the revenue of Spa. Now Formula 1 aren't actually pocketing this money themselves. Circuits are ran by their own management companies in most cases, and they will bid to host a race on the Formula 1 calendar. Formula 1 will most likely offer a spot on the calendar to whoever can offer the most money. I'm sure the circuit, location and history will play a small part, but that's what it is, a small part. The circuits will then make that money back from what they've bidded through ticket sales, merchandise and other things like that. So it is the circuit that decides the ticket price and how much they charge per ticket, not Formula 1 themselves. Now a great example of Germany's reluctance to pay over the odds for sporting events is the 50+1 rule. This is a regulation in German football that requires the clubs to maintain at least 50% plus 1 share of their own voting rights, preventing external investors from taking a control stake in the club. This basically means that the majority of the voting rights will be held by the club's members, who are usually fans and supporters. It is seen as a way of preserving the traditional fan culture and club identity that is deeply rooted in German football. A standing season ticket at German footballing giants Borussia Dortmund, who are one of the top teams in the league, will set you back just £211 per season, while a season ticket at my own team, Tottenham Hotspur, will cost you nearly 10 times as much as in Germany, £2,025. Now there is one downside to this German system. Because the prices are so reasonable, the wait for season tickets is just so long. But clubs believe that fans should not be priced out of the sport just due to this demand. Now this is never going to happen in Formula 1, but imagine if Formula 1 could choose a calendar with the very best 23 racetracks in the world possible, not which tracks would bring the highest revenue to the sport. This is what everyone wants to see. So the reason for the absence of the German Grand Prix boils down to one critical factor, and it's money. Despite having 2 Grade 1 circuits in Germany that have hosted numerous races, Hockenheim and the Nürburgring, neither have been able to strike a deal with Stefano Domenicali. However, it is worth noting that Domenicali has expressed his openness to further discussion for the German Grand Prix. It is evident that Germany values its fans, and they are just unwilling to raise their ticket price to extortionate levels like some other circuits. I'm looking at you, Silverstone. They respect their fans and they don't believe that the increased demand requires them to up the price until people are priced out of the sport. Hence, the situation remains in a stalemate between the two parties. Now I hope a resolution can be reached in the near future and we can witness the return of the German Grand Prix on the Formula 1 calendar, as I truly believe these two circuits are some of the best in Formula 1 racing. Let me know in the comments below if you think there are any ways around this. The only two things I can think of are Hockenheim or the Nürburgring increasing the ticket price or increasing the capacity, as this will generate more money and allow them to bid a larger amount for Formula 1, or Formula 1 should stop being so greedy with the money and accept a lower bid to have Germany on the calendar, as whenever there is a post about what tracks you want to see on the calendar, there's always a tweet below saying I want the Hockenheim or the Nürburgring on the calendar. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this slightly different video format, that. Let me know. I'm trying some different things out on this channel. I will see you hopefully in the next one.